This next article from Hacker News, a Saudi prince's attempt to silence critics on Twitter. Coming at you from Wired Magazine. It says there's an ongoing investigation, reveals how Mohammed bin Salami's team to allegedly infiltrate the platform got away with it. It says in 2014, Mohammed bin Salami's uncle, King Abdullah, was nearing death. For more than 60 years, the Saudi crown has been passed from one son of the kingdom's founder to the next, their heir being determined by a combination of seniority and censuses. Of the surveying brothers, Mohammed's father, Crown Prince Salami, was set to inherit the throne upon Abdullah's death. Anonymous Twitter users were spreading claims that Salami had dementia that that presented a problem for Mohammed. The rumors became accepted as fact by Saudis and foreigners. Salami's brothers might feel pressure to elevate one of his rivals, cutting the Salami clan off from its sandwich. Cutting Salami off from the claims to the throne, dashing Mohammed's hopes of one day inheriting the crown. Mohammed grasped the significance of social media long before the kingdom's geriatric prince, a millennial himself. He spent his youth eating fast food, playing Ages of Empire, and playing first-person shooter games, keeping up with friends on the internet, according to people who've known him since childhood. He was a member of the country's core demographic. About 60% of the population was under 30. Blah, blah, blah. What the hell is this guy doing? What did Twitter do? This is a bunch of blah, blah, blah. Why can't you put the thing up top? So he had unfettered access to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Mohammed understood in a country without polling or elections, platforms like Twitter could reveal how the public felt about policy or a leader. So on the other hand, negative sentiments about Twitter could undermine a would-be ruler. So began years of effort to unmask families' critics on Twitter. They were finding critics on Twitter. On June 13th, according to the incident, Asakar traveled to San Francisco to meet Twitter's head. The Middle East partnerships was framed as a routine visit by important figures to an important Twitter market. Moros showed Asakar around Twitter headquarters in San Francisco's South End Market District. Something about Asakar gave Twitter employee a gift, then asked if Twitter came. He asked Twitter users were making trouble for Mohammed, including nickname Mujtahid, who had been brazenly criticizing the royal family and publishing rumors about senior members that often had a kernel of truth, but it's a political mess. It wasn't criminal or terrorist in nature, so Twitter couldn't reveal the identity of such users to Saudi law enforcement. Asked if Aboamo could help them find information on the people who registered these accounts. Aboamo complied. Potential reckless move by Twitter employee. Blah, blah, blah. Long story here. So I think the gist of the story is that authoritarian dictatorships can utilize Twitter for some really bad shit. Obviously, that's true. Obviously. He's obviously collecting reconnaissance on people utilizing some features of Twitter that other people don't have access to because he's a government. So it does, call into question. There's a lot of really complicated things about the ethics, about censorship. I think we just want to think in this one term of what it would be like in America under the U.S. Constitution, or in Europe, if you live in Europe with hate speech laws, or if you live in Nazi-occupied China, then all of these censorship issues are going to have a different meaning. In the United States, most people are saying this isn't what we want, but we don't have an authoritarian dictator who's utilizing this. It seems as though Twitter is not allowing political advertising on its platform. So they only want political advertising to be done through corporations. So instead of having politicians who are doing the political advertising, now it's just corporations, and they're pushing black looter mob propaganda so people will burn, loot, and murder. But politicians can't. You can't get donations from a grassroots organization that raised funds to get ads to promote you. You have to have organic reach, so you have to have one of the networks that's already been created. And if you don't have access to that because you're not an ivory tower liberal, or you're not a rich kid, you're not really attractive, then you're pushed out of the system. So in America, we have a lot of fundamental problems with democracy with these platforms. And then in Saudi Arabia, you also have problems where you need to censor these monsters because they're monsters. But they want to do business there, which is why I think Twitter's way too big. I think that Facebook's way too big. They can't just do business everywhere. They have to have their own social network. If you want to come and be on our social networks, you have to abide by our customs and our rules and our laws. And if we want to go on your social network, we should abide by your customs, rules, or laws, or we should do a protest where we aren't doing them peacefully. Protest where we're not following your laws. That is peaceful. But it does shine a different light on the censorship issue. There is more than meets to the eye. But in America, it definitely seems as though they're trying to enforce the hate speech laws so they could sell the product in Europe and in countries where that kind of speech would be banned. So they just want you to write feel-good post, which biases everything towards liberals. Only the liberals are going to get your organic reach because they write stuff that makes people feel good based on a bunch of nonsense.